Welcome to We Build Academy. We're putting together a series of shorts where we take the best of the best out of each of our main episodes and distill it down into a short episode. In this short episode, we're talking to Allan Corfield. Allan is an architect that has specialised in self-builds. Alan's going to be talking about prefabrication and how this can help you with your funding. We're also going to be talking about custom build plots and why you might want to consider a custom build plot and what they are. And also, Allan gives some great tips on how to find land. So if this might be of use to you, please check out this episode.
Okay, well, my name's Allan Corfield. I'm a chartered architect and I run AC Architects. We're based in Scotland, but we work throughout the UK.
What is custom build?
Custom build is a new strategy that's been around for the last couple of years. It's really for sites of more than between five houses upwards. So developers can bring serviced plots to market that then self-builders can come in and buy a serviced plot with all of the road infrastructure, all of the services already built in. So it's a really good way of delivering mass-produced self-builds. The main problem we find, or the main stumbling block for our clients, is getting a plot. So if we can actually then get groups of developers or local councils, authorities, bringing sites of 10 houses up to 5,000 houses, it's really going to take over and become a great way of trying to tackle the housing crisis that we have.
If I go custom build, won't it just feel like I'm living on a building site forever?
That is, yeah, it's always the problem. But I think you'll always have that in the mass-produced persimmon developments and all these things. But you're right, it's a lot more well thought out. There's guidance in place to make it easier, and as you say, there are time limits.
Have you noticed any trends in self-build?
Is of varying budgets from £150,000 starter homes to £2, £3, £4 million self-builds, but they all have something in common, that they don't want to be spending a fortune on energy bills, and they want to be comfortable.
A lot of people mention the advantage of Passivhaus, but what are the disadvantages?
For a certified passive house, you're in a certain route. You have to go for certain products. You have to have you have higher increased fees to get it certified and go through the design process. Fabric First is more about just good quality design and actually following it through on site. So there's not that big increase in construction cost and design fees. Unfortunately, the UK, in my opinion, there's not a massive increase or betterment from getting that certificate. If you are a passive house certifier and designer, you want to get it certified all the time, and I completely understand that. It's a really good way of getting a nice, comfortable home.
Is there another standard to keep an eye out for?
The new guidance for 2050 ready, which the Energy Saving Trust are pushing for, you're going to have to get to nearly zero carbon.
Can you please give examples of prefabricated systems and what are their advantages?
We do a lot of SIPS builds, so structurally insulated panels. We do CLT and high-end timber frames. So they all have large prefabricated elements to it. And I'm a big advocate for using SIPs or CLT as an example. They will be more expensive, but the kit will be erected on site in 10 days. So, and your windows and doors are ordered from factory drawings, so they come in day 10 and are fitted. So you're wind and watertight, maybe say 2-3 weeks for a foundation, 10 days for the kit to go up, and 2 or 3 for the windows and doors. You're wind and watertight maybe 4 to 8 weeks quicker than you would be even with a timber frame, let alone a brick and block. So when you take into account the additional costs for the additional site insurance costs, the preliminary stuff, all the things that you need on site for site welfare, those costs start to be more effective and level out when you look at everything in hand or in line, really.
How can prefabrication help with funding?
Going for a prefab, if you're going to do that route that I just suggested, the prefabricated with the windows and doors coming very quickly, there's a lot of money up front. And it's always that first bit that people, if they're on an arrears mortgage, which the majority of self-build mortgages are, you've got the cost of your foundations, probably 100% of your kit, and maybe 50% of your windows and doors, or 100% of your windows and doors before you're at that next milestone, which is wind and watertight. Conversely, you get to that point 8 weeks quicker than you would traditionally. So, and the milestones for mortgages, once the groundworks are in, it doesn't. There's a perception that I've put my foundations in, my site has now gone up by £60,000 in value. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You could spend £20,000 on the foundations and it not have added actually any value to the plot, which is what your value will look at. But as soon as you get up to ridge level and wind and watertight, that's a massive tick for your funders. It's insurable, and they'll give a big release. So you just have to be careful on the funding route and the build route. They have to know that, and that's one of my things about really top tips for self builders is cash flow and planning that out, and it does relate right the way back to design and the build route.
Do you have any other tips regarding self build funding?
The Ecology Building Society who are one of the big lenders in the self build market, they will give you a reduction dependent on the energy performance. So if you are doing an A-rated house, you'll get something like a 1% or 0.75% off your interest rate. So, and there is an accelerator mortgage that a lot of people don't really know about that will give you all of the money. It's advance payments. There's a lot of really good specialist products out there for self-builders.
What stops people self-building?
Stop point is finding the plot of land. That's the rest of it is just, if you're with the right practice and you've thought about it and you know why you're wanting to do it, the what and the how are not that difficult. It's getting a piece of land.
What are your tips for finding land to self-build on?
We advise our clients to do loads of different things. So there's a couple of websites out there, Plot Search and Plot Finder, that they can go on and find sort of pre-made, pre-set up plots that have got outline or full planning permission. Or we advise clients to make a note of interest with all of the local areas. So further point on that, or the starting point, you really need to work out where you want to live. We get all the time, I want to build a house. It's, well, where do you want to live? Do you need to be an hour from work, or do you need to do this? So really think where you want to live. Look on Plot Finder, Plot Search to see what plots are available. Speak to the local estate agents in that area and just tell them what it is you're looking for. So they're the sort of conventional. We've got clients, though, they'll spend Saturday, Sunday going around all the villages, knocking on doors, going meeting farmers, asking if they've got bits of land, adverts in papers. So you can take an advert out in the local Gazette or whatever it's going to be for £100, putting in, I want a plot for my house. Have you got a garden? Have you got a bungalow that can be demolished? Or a leaflet drops is one that we've actually found really useful. So there'll be a local printing company that you'll be able to get 2,000 A5 prints done for 20, 30 quid. And that's a really good way of finding sites that aren't on the market, or people haven't even thought about selling a bit of land at the bottom of their garden. Or
what about group self-builds as an option?
Group self-builds where people have tried to get 4 or 5 together, but it just, when you've got 4 or 5 people with different options, ideas, and usually different finance backgrounds, it becomes tricky, and you just have to accept that it's going to take a long time. But I think this is where custom build is going to come into its own. It's for those groups of people that don't want to live in the middle of nowhere, but they don't want to live on a new housing estate. They want to have more control. And
what is your top tip for self-builders?
Research and knowledge. You're going to do something you've never done before. Be as well educated, as well informed as you possibly can be.
Would you recommend speaking to past self-builders?
They all love talking about their homes and showing you. That's the one thing. Everybody's so proud of that. It's a massive achievement. So there's lots of forums out there, and get involved. And
if I decide to self-build, will it take over my life?
Oh, it will take over your life, but it's massively worth it. So in terms of enjoyment and sweat equity that you'll put into it.
What's the best way to contact you?
The easiest thing is our website is acarchitects.biz, and you'll find us on every single social media platform.
I hope you found that short episode with Allan useful. If you did, please make sure you check out his full-length episode at webuildacademy.com. Also, if you haven't yet visited his website, I'll put a link down in the show notes. Make sure you go and check that out because it's full of great sort of tools and resources. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for listening to the We Build Academy podcast. Don't forget to click subscribe and check out our website, webuildacademy.com, for more great tools and information to help you build your dream home.